Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and on today's review, the Survival Emergency Sleeping Bivvy. Let's get into it. So guys, the emergency bivvy. Most people know what these are. The great little items. The downside I see is people not using them. The issue is with these, I mean, they're so small. I mean, they literally weigh nothing. And something like that would be great for emergencies. Just picture the scenario. You're taking your dog for a walk, average couple of miles. If you're in the Peak District or the lakes and things like that, you're walking around. You walk over rocky flooring and things like that by the rivers and things. You have a fall. You land on your phone. You break your phone, and you do damage to your ankle. You can't get up. You can't ring for help. You're stuck on the ground until the nearest person comes and finds you, basically. So the principle with these is they are to keep you warm, keep your body temperature up. Not a lot of people know that it's not just being outside in the cold that you lose body heat, it's being on the ground as well. The ground is a major source of heat loss for your body. I've slept on loads of roll mats, logs, pine needles, and things like that for beds and stuff. While camping and things like that. And these are an absolute lifesaver when it comes to just wrapping yourself up, even if it's just for an hour or so. I mean, most of these come in like a silver both sides. These ones, which I like more, orange one side and foil side the other. I'm open this up, and it's quite big. You can actually use these as shelters, and you can get a full person in these, no problem. The foil backed, so you'd have the foil to the inside of you against your body, and the orange side. If you needed air support or anything like that, air ambulance and stuff, they can see this against the green backdrop and the stones and the water and things like that. That's why I prefer these. The company sent me these in. They said, "Can you give me a review on them?" I says, "Yeah, no problem. I've liked these." I wish more people would have these. Even if you're just walking the dog, chuck one in your car. They're about £3. You know, at the moment, with the weather being really bad in the UK, it's down into the minuses. Today it was -4 degrees. Now, compared to some countries, I know that's not very cold, but in the UK, it's English. We do like to moan. So, chucking one of these in your car would be absolutely brilliant. At the minute, we've had snowstorms up in the north, Scotland and things like that, and people have been stranded on the motorway for hours and have had to spend overnight in the car. They've had no water and they've had no way of heating because literally they've either run out of fuel or they can't keep the car running because the snow's literally covered the car. No one can find them, and they've just literally had to stay in the car, overnight. To me, that's no. I mean, if that's the only shelter you've got, fair dues. You don't want to decide to get out on the middle of the motorway when it's snowing because other cars are going to plough into you. I get that. You have to, assess every scenario that you get into. But please start looking at getting little things like this. If you had this in your glove box in your car and you literally wrap this around you, you could physically add 10 degrees to your body heat. Now, while all your car's cold and if the engine's cut out and don't work, things like that, you can still wrap up in one of these and they will see you. They're just fantastic little items. I've never understood why most people don't have them. Everyone takes the dog bags with them when they take the dog for a walk and, they go hiking. And I see it all the time when I'm going camping and things like that. And I'm walking past hikers and stuff. They've really got nothing on them. They've only got a pair of two sticks to walk with, some decent boots, and a small bag with some water in. Fair dues, but it's still, you need the basics. Things like this, it will save your life. For £3, I think this was about £3.50. Comes with a little bag. It weighs nothing. The size of it's nothing. It's no bigger than a credit card. It folds down nice. And they're really tough as well. These ones are really strong compared to the standard alone foil ones. These will stretch. And I'll take one out in the garden and I'll show you, you could fit a full size adult in there, no problem. If you've got kids in the back and stuff and, you've got to keep yourself warm and things, it's just for an emergencies. But I thought I'd have to share this one because they'd sent me this, and I thought, yeah, a lot of people do not have foil blankets, and they're so basic and cheap to use. Even people have, there's videos on YouTube where people are, they've got them around them, they've sat on the floor or, on a log and things like that, and they've stuck a small little tea light underneath them. And the tea light alone will create its own atmosphere inside. Obviously, don't put it too close to your legs because you're going to burn, but keep it between your legs, open your legs, and then wrap yourself around in the blanket. And it will add so much warmth to a shelter if you're in real dire needs. They're just great. I wish people would use these more. We'll do some testing on it, guys. We'll see how it goes. But these are fantastic. I've got loads of these. I always take them in my bag. I've got a couple in the car. The missus has got a couple. They're just brilliant for what they are. And you've got to realise, you pay car insurance and you pay home insurance and things like that. And a lot of people will go, well, it's £3. I'll never use it. But that's the point. I would rather spend £3 on something I'll never use than 500. Then I'll have to spend it and then it's going to cost me in the long run because I wish I would have had it in the first place. So for £3 for something that's going to save my life, to a car insurance, if the car gets wrote off, it's just a car. I know it's expensive, and we've all worked hard for a car, but you can't put a value on life. And if this was to save your life while you was out hiking because you broke your ankle and fell on the floor, broke your phone, no way of getting to an emergency services, and you're going to have to wait for someone to hopefully find you that's running on the same path as you with their dogs. So if something like this, you could wrap yourself up in this and you could save your life. Yeah, you're going to be uncomfortable and you might be slightly cold, but you're not going to be as cold as getting hypothermia and then probably, freezing to death over something that's for £3. I wish a lot more people would start prepping with things like this and start looking at, emergency stuff like, lights and extra gas stoves and things like that, because they do work, in the event of emergencies and stuff. And we've had it before with power cuts and things like that. Boilers broke, heating's gone down, you're always cold, you've got no hot water. What do? Wrap up in a few of these and a couple of electric blankets. You're laughing, aren't you? It's a no-brainer. We'll do some testing on this, guys. See how we get on with it, and we'll put it through a few tough tests. I mean, that's tough, and I like that. You can get the cheaper ones for like £1, and they're just foil both sides. They're literally, they're not the best, but again, for £1, they'll do. Even if you had two around you, just start looking after yourselves and thinking of the basics. You can easily chuck that in a bag, in a purse, and just forget about it. So please, guys, just really start thinking about the basics on stuff. And we don't take much to survive with things like that, but it's just for emergencies and stuff. The way the weather's going and the world at the minute, it's time to start having little things like this that may save your life one day.